Okay, we'll call this meeting the order of the Blackhawk County Board of Supervisors, October the 1st, 2019. Let's have roll call, please.
Leyland.
Here.
Schwartz.
Here.
Trelka.
Here.
White.
Here.
Little.
Here. Would you please join us in a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, moving on to item 1 is agenda received as proposed or amended.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2 is public comments. Is there anybody that'd like to speak to the board at this time? It's not a agenda item. Okay, seeing none. Item 3 is years of service. This is employees with 20 or more years of service. Dana.
All right, we have Renee Rose of the Sheriff's Department, and she was here for 30 years. And then Wayne Even of the Engineer's Office for 25 years.
Okay, sheriff's here to get the one for the, and we certainly want to thank those employees for their service. Kathy, go ahead and get that one. Okay. Item 4, claims and payments, resolution A. James.
Total claims came out to $350,004.15. A lot of it actually was out of life insurance trust, Delta dental plans, monthly payments, and medical claims, but not much other than that.
Okay. Board, any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, I have Schwartz,
Yes.
Trelka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little.
Yes. Okay, moving on to item 5, receiving project updates from department heads and or elected officials. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Board. Kathy Nicholas, County Engineer. Just a brief update on the Cedar Wapsie paving project. That is still not complete. We're hoping this Friday. There's only 2 items of work remaining, the shoulder rumbles and the rumble strips at Highway 63, and then the pavement markings. The road is still closed. We're asking the public to please be patient. They do have plenty of working days left, so I don't really have much leverage, but the ASPRO would really like to have the road reopened on Friday, this Friday, weather permitting. Lastly, a reminder to all of the public that it is harvest season. We're going to be seeing a lot more tractors and grain trucks out on the roads. Governor Reynolds did proclaim yesterday that overweight vehicles would have access to the road system for the next 60 days until the end of November. So please keep that in mind when you're out on the roads. Can I answer any questions?
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Okay, moving on to item 6, minutes approved for September the 24th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We do have a couple of hearings today. We'll get to those ones on FY20 budget amendment and the other ones on issuance of some GO bonds. Okay, then, item 8 is consent agenda. This will be made with a single resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any questions or comments for the consent? Roll call, please.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Trelka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little.
Yes. Item 9, proclamation. This is proclaimed October 7th through 13th, 2019, Earth Science Week with a presentation from Sherm Lundy, BMC Aggregates. Sherm, where are you at? Well, there you are. You want to come up and,
I have a guest with me today. I'd like to introduce Dr. Chad Heinzel from the Earth Science Department of UNI, who is my co-part here in the Earth Science Week activities. Chad?
So, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Morning.
Yes, the UNI Earth and Environmental Science Department would greatly appreciate the public's participation in Earth Science Week that's coming up. Sherman and Basic Materials Incorporated does an amazing job at opening their facilities to the public. And a lot of the things that the earth sciences can do adhere to the board you have behind you governing a 2028 vision, whether it's building desirable communities, working to make sure that people have the resources for construction materials and or sustainable communities. I heard a lot this morning about the new normal of weather, trying to make sure that we're prepared to live, whether it's not enough rain or too much rain. There's many things that the earth sciences can help us do. The theme of this year's Sunday at the Quarry and Earth Science Week is Earth Has a History. So we'll be sharing the rock record, and I'll also be personally sharing kind of a new part that we haven't done a lot, but there's an amazing glacial section where you can see some really interesting glacial geology, quite a bit younger than our rock record. So that'll be a new addition, weather permitting, this Sunday. Hope you can make it. Thank you for your time.
hey, thank you for coming today, too. Sherm?
To the Board of Supervisors, to the staff, and the visitors. On behalf of the Earth Science Committee, we thank you very much for issuing the Earth Science Week proclamation. Whether it's recent history, ancient history, or geologic history, the atmosphere, the lithosphere, the hydrosphere are constantly changing, sometimes slowly and sometimes very dramatically. The earth sciences help us to understand those changes, whether those changes are tectonic, static, or even anthropogenic. Understanding the past sheds light on the present and helps us to plan for the future. As part of the Earth Science Week activities, we invite everyone to participate. It's the Sunday at the Quarry program this Sunday, October the 6th, at BMC Aggregates Morgan Quarry from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. with programs and activities relating to this year's theme, The Earth Has a History. Collect a fossil, see how agriculture has changed, how floodplains have been altered, how the landscape has been reshaped, and the continents and the oceans are on the move. Interesting time for all ages. Thank you again so very much for issuing the Earth Science Week proclamation, and we hope to have everybody there, see everybody out there this Sunday, weather permitting, of course. Well, we do it whether or not because we all live with the weather.
Sure. What are the times again?
11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Great.
11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Right. We'll have, by the way, the survey will be there, the flood center, Farm Bureau, the prairie-owned farms, folks will be there. Of course, the rock club will be there as well. And we also have as a very special guest this year, from the University of Iowa. You know that there is the state of Iowa the fossil repository. They will be there with selections of Earth history over there and some interactions. So it should be a real neat time and a real neat event.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Anybody have any other questions for Sherm before he leaves? Okay, thank you.
Move to approve the proclamation.
Second?
Do we need to vote on that, Pete?
I think so, if you've got
Okay,
a
why don't we have a roll call, please?
Chalka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Little.
Yes. Okay, item 10 is contracts and agreements. This is a resolution of the amended agreement between Blackhawk County and Clapsaddle Garber Associates of Cedar Falls. The amount is going to be $69,150. Kathy, why don't you kind of explain what this is?
Sure. This is part of our ongoing work to complete the regrading or reconstruction of Grundy Road from Highway 20 down to Zanetta, 5 miles. We signed a contract earlier this year with CGA Clapsaddle Garber as our on-call consultant for other survey work because we no longer have a professional licensed surveyor on staff. We amended that contract. We We took a look at the bids and felt that the bid they had given us at that time obviously was a good bid, so we chose them. We decided to use them again for this work. Grundy County is also employing them to do their right-of-way acquisition as well for the Grundy Road project. So it made sense to amend the agreement. They will create the plats, they will go put the property pins out in the field on our behalf, and then we can begin the acquisition process for the Grundy Road project, which will allow us to buy right-of-way and then start relocating the utilities this early next spring is the intention. This money was budgeted as part of our FY20 budget. Can I answer any questions?
Now, this
Any other
dollar
questions?
amount, is this the total contract or is this the amended portion?
This is the total contract amount for the work specifically related to Grundy Road.
Including the amended part?
Correct. Well, it's just the Grundy Road
In
portion.
other words, we didn't have a piece budgeted for the original contract. This is all it right here.
Right, we had this budgeted separately, and now we're signing a contract to use
Okay.
that money.
Very good.
Move to approve.
Second.
Is there any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Trelka,
Yes.
Little.
Yes, thank you. Okay, moving on to other business. This is a motion to request for purchase of capital equipment submitted by Kim Beater, IT Director, be approved. It's for $6,307.59 for Converge One as part of a project to expand our storage for additional data.
So moved.
Second.
Budgeted item? Yes. Kim? Okay. Is there any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. Item B is a motion to direct county auditor to advertise for a public hearing, 9:05 on October the 15th, 2019. This is for a proposed ordinance, rezone of 5.8 acres from ag to AR in order to split off a home that was built on 35 acres.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. Item C is a resolution, the minor plat of survey submitted by Blaine and Ching Ying Sage, is that correct? To minor plat 2.61 acres located at 1428 East Bennington Road. Zeth, you want to talk a little bit about this one?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I wish you'd be enthused a little bit more. but-
Oh, been kind of a, with all the rain and everything, it's been kind of a depressing morning, but hopefully the sun comes out.
So really we've already proved this, what we're doing is just proving.
Oh, yeah, just approving the minor plat, yeah. Planning and Zoning Commission at the regular meeting on September 17th reviewed the request submitted by Blang and Chiying Sage to plat 2.61 acres into one lot with 2.1 acres zoned AR, Agricultural Residential District, and 0.54 acres zoned A Agricultural District in order to allow for the construction of one new single-family home. Plat area in question is located northeast of 1428 East Bennington Road, which is approximately 2/3 of a mile northeast of the East Bennington Road and Moline Road intersection. It was moved by Nagel and seconded by Wirtz to approve the request to plat 2.61 acres in order to build one new single-family home. Motion to approve carried unanimously. The applicant's request to rezone 2.1 acres of the minor plat area from A Agricultural District to AR Agricultural Residential District was approved by the Board of Supervisors on July 16, 2019. That's pretty much it. Just rezone's already been approved, so this is just the minor plat to essentially be able to split off the parcel from the main land.
Okay. Board, you got any questions? Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Leyland,
We need a motion. proper.
I thought I heard Chris.
Did we?
Move to approve.
Second.
all right, Leyland,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Trelka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Little.
Yes. Okay, resolution approved. Item D is a resolution to revise Delta Dental summary plan description for Blackhawk County dental benefits. This is amendments to the plan, minor language cleanup and so forth. Deb, is there anything you needed to add to this?
Very routine.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Has the board got any questions or comments on this? Okay, roll call, please.
Trelka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Little.
Yes. Item E, this is discussion on considering tax abatement for Heartland Co-op for possible facilities in Washburn. Terry, if you want to come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Thanks.
Okay.
I'm Terry Fromm with Heartland Co-op. We're at 2829 West Town Parkway in West Des Moines, Iowa. I'm here today to talk about our Washburn location, which is located outside of Waterloo. Just located out of Waterloo here, just a little ways. Heartland's a agricultural co-op. We have about 6,000 members, and we were formed from a merger of 3 co-ops back in 1987, Dallas Center, Minburn, and Panora, Iowa. And Dallas Center was actually formed in 1919, so our base cooperative is about 100 years old today. I've been with them since 1988, so I've been there most of those years, and throughout those years, Heartland has expanded. Today we have about 75 locations, and we actually go from river to river. We have a location in Nebraska City that we receive barge fertilizer at and real fertilizer, and then we disperse it back out. And we also have a grain barge loading facility in Weaver, Iowa, that we receive truck grain and then ship it out by barge. And then we have multiple other locations, most of them serving local farmers that just receive truck grain and ship truck grain back out. The one that I want to talk to you about today is our facility at Washburn. This facility is comprised of about 3 different sections. The north elevator was built right along the road, if you're familiar with that area. It was constructed in 1963 and has few improvements made to it over the years. The south facility was built in about 1970. It also has very few improvements made. It did receive a 10,000 bushel hour leg a few years back, and also Ben was built on in about 1995. And so, you know, these facilities are, and then the third part of that facility is a grain bunker, and we fill that bunker every year and then empty it every year. And we have to haul all that grain from our south facility, where we have a grain dryer, we dry it, we haul it across the road to the grain bunker, fill the bunker, and then when we get ready to ship, we haul all that grain back across the road to the south facility, and then load it on train and ship it out from there. All that truck traffic has to go across the road every year and stuff. Our storage in the north facility is only 91,000 bushels. Our south facility holds 205,000 bushels. And then most of our facility is a grain bunker with about 1 million bushels. And you can see our harvest receipts and our annual receipts down below. During harvest, we receive about 700,000 bushels of corn and around 200,000 bushels of beans. So a lot of that grain comes in, and then we have to move it to another location or move to that bunker and stuff. Our proposed project is considering making a major investment in the facilities in Washburn. Heartland feels the area would support a modern high-speed grain facility. When most of the current facilities were built, most of that grain was brought in by tractor and wagon. And, you know, we still have some of the long lines that today, because with the receiving capacity that we have, we can't dump the trucks fast enough to get them back to the fields for the farmers and stuff. With the large equipment the farmers are running today, they can just flood our location there, and so we do not provide the best service to them. Heartland's looking at making about a $7.5 million investment at this location. The current plans for the first phase of the project would be 2 grain dumps where a semi could dump both hoppers at one time. There'd be 2 15,000 bushel an hour legs to move the grain from the dumps to the storage facility, 4 78,000 bushel or 4 78-foot diameter bins, 2 40,000 bushel corn bottom bins to help manage the high moisture corn, and a 4,700 bushel an hour grain dryer and a skill. Today we have about 1,000 bushel dryer there, and so we need to also increase that capacity. Depending on the soil bearing load, we have to do those tests yet, but each blend should hold around 400,000 bushel plus or minus. So the total storage capacity of the facility would be around 2.5 million bushels. The facility would be designed to ship by either truck or rail. Heartland is currently working with the Iowa Northern Railroad Company on the load-out track configurations, and we're also trying to see if we can buy additional land to allow improved configuration of the facility and allow additional expansion in the future. Heartland thinks this is a win-win-win-win situation. We always like to see a win-win situation when we can, but in this situation, I think we have a lot of people that are going to benefit from the facilities. The farmers in the area, they would get a facility that matches their current farming practices. The capacity to receive grain and dry grain would far exceed that of the old facility. The large receiving pits and 15,000 bushel an hour legs would allow farmers to get in and out quickly. And the improvements, Heartland, the improvements at some of Heartland's additional other facilities, when we've made these types of investments, the farmers can get in and out a lot of times in less than 5 minutes because, they pull in, dump both hoppers and leave again. And so it's very fast for them and very convenient. The railroad wins, I think railroads are important for our communities out in the rural areas of Iowa. They would receive additional bushels to ship. And Heartland has found that when we have railroads at our facilities, there's a lot of additional opportunities that come up from time to time. We're currently involved at Runnels, Iowa, on the BNSF Railroad there. Hutchins Salt, transload salt that's used in the Des Moines area to salt roads during the wintertime. Dexter, Iowa, the Iowa Interstate, we partnered with Patterson Sand to transload rock to a concrete company. That concrete company supplied the concrete for the wind turbine farms out west of Dexter. East 18th Street, we also partnered with Patterson Sand to transload aggregate for the improvements at Grays Lake in Des Moines. At Avon, we are on the Union Pacific there. We partnered with Mid-American twice here recently, once to transload wind turbines for several of their projects, and also partnered with Mid-America to transload transformers. Other possible opportunities are transloading container boxes in the future and also transloading propane. Rail propane is right now quite a bit cheaper than truck propane into this area. We're already seeing some of that happening as far as loading off rail to storage and then to truck. This would be another opportunity at Washburn. The county, as far as them winning, the county would receive an additional long-term tax base that would support the county, school, fire department, and police. This would also help local farmers' profitability, thereby supporting land values. And it should also help the road infrastructure in the county, as grain would be shipped by rail versus being shipped by truck all the time. Total project costs around $7.5 million. In past projects, when we spent that type of money, we see a tax base occurring around $4,800,000. You guys have a $26 per thousand levy, which would create $127,000 in new taxes for the county. And so I think that's a win also. For Heartland Co-op, Heartland Co-op Development Agreement would help support the business in the early, if you guys would do something for us, it would support the business in the early years of the project. Grain facilities have a low rate of return. They have to operate for a long period of time to make money. And especially in the early years when we're just building the business base to support the new facility, Heartland would gain in a more efficient facility, would not handle the grain 3 or 4 times prior to shipping as we do sometimes today. An additional bin space will allow to manage the grain quality much better than the bunker, less damage, and is not exposed to the elements. Heartland Co-op would like the Blackhawk County to help support the project financially by helping fund the railroad track expansion. The cost on the phase 1 of the track expansion is around $500,000. And then I gave you, behind that, I gave you a schematic of the facility as far as what we could build there. Our plans, like I said, are to build 4 bins at first, the receiving, the track load, the rail load out, grain dryers, and some hopper bins. I gave you a quote that shows what they think the railroad's gonna cost us. Heartland would do all the grading and stuff for the railroad to be placed, the rails to be placed on. And then I gave you a couple pictures. The one is the transformer that's being transloaded at Avon. We did our first one here recently. It comes in on, that's one transformer that comes in on a flatbed rail car, and they offload that to a truck, and then they haul it about a mile down the street and store it there for future use and stuff. We had to build a $300,000 pad. I think it was $280,000, $300,000 pad, so that they could set up their cranes to transload that on and stuff. So that's a long-term investment, and they'll be doing that for years to come. The last 2 pictures are pictures of facilities that we built recently, so you have an idea of the quality of the facilities we built. The ones at Winterset, Iowa, we started off with 3 bins there. We added 3 more bins, and we also usually end up putting some out on the ground as far as a bunker. Every facility that we've built that has this type of setup has far exceeded what we thought it would do as far as capacity. We built one down in Randolph, Iowa. Again, we started with 3 bins, the hopper bins, the dryer. We added 3 more bins, and now we added a 1 million bushel pile down there. At Luther, Iowa, we built 4 bins, and that's the other picture is at Luther. We partnered with the city on some stuff there as far as a tax abatement, and then Heartland Co-op actually fronted the money to help with their water problem there. I don't know if you heard on the news, about 2 years or 3 years ago, the town of Luther was flooded. They couldn't get their water out of the community. And so when we brought this to the Luther, we helped them by funding their tile project, and we put in a 24-inch tile from the city out to the creek so that we could get the water out of town. And we funded that money ahead of time, and then they're paying us back on that and stuff. So that's been a good partnership. And so we've partnered with a lot of communities to try to do some things when we go in. The communities also have partnered with us. We've received some tax abatements and some TIFs. And here we're asking for an economic development agreement to be drawn up to help on this project. So,
Board, is there any questions?
I assume that a project of this magnitude will create employment opportunities locally and for the construction of it?
the construction does create some job opportunities and stuff, but we have designed these facilities. They're very efficient. If you look at the pictures of the 2 facilities there, there's a little office that sits right down underneath the legs, between the legs or the receiving pits and stuff. We can actually operate these facilities with less people than some of our large other facilities that were built years ago, because they're very consolidated, fast. And so we had some part-time help during the fall, but we usually don't add a lot of full-time help to the location. Now this location out here only has 2 people because of the volume, so there probably would be a chance of adding 1 more, and they got some part-time help already. So not a lot of additional employment. There is some.
You mentioned too, the project would be completed in phases.
Yeah, the first phase, would be the 4 bins. It would be a startup project. We'd have that 2.5 million bushels of storage with 4 bins, the dryer, some cone bottom holding tanks, and then the scale and stuff. When we designed these facilities, one of the things that we ran into over the years is that when we go back to add on, when these facilities aren't large enough, they never planned on doing that, and so there's no room for those bins. And so a lot of times we've just built another problem that we have to deal with. We have a location in Mitchellville, Iowa that we're landlocked with, and we probably haul 2 million bushels of corn out of it a year, just for the fact that we can't handle the receipts there. But that wasn't planned. this facility is planned, the picture has probably about 8 bins on it. And we're only planning on putting 4 in right now, so we would have the opportunity to add 4 more bins very easily. We're also talking to the landowner next to us right now to see if we can buy a little bit additional land from him, so that if we need to go past that, we would have that facility that we can expand on. Also, if we decide we want to transload propane or transload anything else, we just need additional space. So we're trying to get that taken care of at this point in time, so that when we go down the road in the future, we're ready for that.
And you probably mentioned earlier too, the $7.5 million of phase 1, how much of that is $7.5 million the first phase?
Yeah.
That is the first phase.
These facilities are very expensive to build, and the grain industry operates on very tight margins and stuff. It's just part of what we do, and we're a cooperative, and basically we're there for the farmers, and that's our goal.
What kind of a timeline, I guess?
For this facility, if things would come together, we would start actually digging for the pits already this fall. We think that we're going to have to use concrete pilings for the foundations there, and so if we can get the pits done this fall and get them backfilled and compacted, that would allow us to put the concrete pilings in early spring and have it up and ready to run, hopefully by fall.
So what level, 2 questions, what level of tax abatement are you looking for in over the course of how many years?
If we do a tax abatement, we've done a lot of different scenarios with different communities as far as that. Most of the time, we'd like to, the total is 3 or 4 years at 100%, but sometimes, 2 examples, Luther, they needed some of that money for that water thing, so our tax abatement there really doesn't start until 3 years once they pay us back for the water project, and then that only goes up to about 75%, and then it goes on out for a few years. Randolph, there started off at 100% for a year and then tailed down to in a 5-year period. And so there's all types of different formulas. A lot of times if there's need for the money by the county, they have a special project that they're working on, or the city, we can sit back and wait for it for a little bit. So we've done a lot of different things.
Do you know what the facility's current contribution to the tax rolls is?
The current tax roll on it?
Yeah.
Well, I looked at that the other day. These are old facilities. It's not real high. I'm going to say it's $10,000-$15,000 maybe. That's a guess. I didn't really look at it real close.
You mentioned earlier too about the $500,000 assistance with the railroad.
Yeah.
Was that in addition to tax abatement?
That would be
you'd like
in
us to
lieu of tax
consider, or
abatement.
In lieu of, okay, just a possibility of doing something like that.
Yeah, something different besides a tax abatement, if you don't want to do a tax abatement.
You're just looking for partnership really in some way,
Yeah.
tax abatement being one. That was what your email was.
We're looking for some partnership money at the very beginning of the project, because the first 3 to 5 years, these projects are really tough, and we've built a lot of them over the last 7, 8 years, and so it's really hard for us to make money on them the first few years. And you think about the taxes, it's not a huge amount. The taxes, as far as $125,000, we have some facilities that are a little higher than that, but that's basically, if we can avoid that. I'm not saying we're trying to avoid taxes and stuff, but that's basically the profitability of that location. If we don't have any help with it, that's a break-even or losing facility for the first 3 to 5 years.
Are you looking at other sites for this facility or something similar?
Not for this site. We're kind of restricted because we do own land there, and we'd like to build that site there, unless there's some reason it shouldn't be built there. But we would like to stay on that railroad. We have facilities that we have built that are off the railroad, but you end up being locked into a market there. You don't have near as the flexibility to market that grain. And then sometimes it's hard to move that grain out of that facility, so they have to be built larger, so that sometimes you have to carry that grain a year or two before you can really market it profitably. And so when we've been on these rail facilities, we usually see something that pops up that gives us some merchandising opportunities. This one here is going to be kind of locked into ADM and Cedar Rapids because that's where it heads. But would remove a lot of the truck traffic that currently goes that way from our facilities because, 100% of this probably would be loaded out on rail. But over the years, there's always other opportunities that seem to pop up when you're on rail. It could go north and catch on to the UP to go west or something like that. The CN is also goes through Waterloo. There's a connection there, but that's not a market for us right now. So, to start off with, would be mainly that. For us, we find that shipping by rail is, the freight rate's about the same as it is for truck, but it seems like we can get better grades when we ship rail because we can load the cars continuously, we get our grades set, and so we can run all those. When we load trucks, we're loading 1,000 bushel at a time. Hopper cars usually 3,500 to 4,000 bushel at a time. And they're set up so that we don't stop the flow of grain in between each hopper car. So once the grade's set, we can just keep going. And we're load all, this is set up to load 25 cars.
Okay, board, any other questions? Terry, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'd like to thank you guys for your time and hope to hear from you and hope we can work together on this.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Okay, moving on to item F. This is a hearing. It is 9:36. This is on the proposed FY20 budget amendment. And remember, all this is we did this a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and it wasn't published, so we're just redoing it. So item 1 is motion received, place on file.
So
moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 2 is motion to close the hearing if there's no oral or written comments.
Second.
Are there any written comments?
No.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And item 3 is a resolution, the FY20 budget be amended by changing previous revenues and expenditures on file with the county auditor.
Second.
James, you didn't want to add anything. We're just redoing this, correct?
Yeah, realistically, what happened was it got published in the Courier, but it didn't get published in the other two. So we had to go back and publish them, and nothing has changed. Everything's the exact same. So
Sounds good. Okay, roll call, please.
Trelka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Little.
Yes. Item K is a resolution, the county auditor be directed to increase, decrease appropriations to various operating budgets for FY 2019, 2020 for offices as submitted.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Leyland,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Trelka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Little.
Yes. Item G, the hearing is 9:38. This is on proposed additional action for issuance of not to exceed 9.1 GO bonds. Item 1 is a motion received, place on file.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2 is motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Okay, is there any written comments?
No.
And again, we had that presentation by the Spear and also, I think, Solid Waste a couple weeks ago. So everybody's clear what we're doing here? Okay, then, item 3 is a resolution instituting procedures to take additional action not to exceed 9.1 GO bonds.
Second.
Any questions on this? Roll call, please.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Trelka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little.
Yes. Okay, moving on to item H. This is a resolution to appoint UMB Bank to serve as a paying agent, bond register, and transfer agent, approving the pay agent, bond register, and transfer agent agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Trelka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Little.
Yes, this is item I, is a resolution, amend the resolution authorizing providing for issuance of 9.1 GO bonds and levying a tax to pay said bonds and to approve the tax exemption certificate.
Second?
Any questions on this one? Okay,
Leyland,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Trelka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Little,
yes. Got in a hurry there, didn't she?
Opposed.
Okay, item J, resolution of the 2080 agreement between Blackhawk County and Blackhawk Solid Waste Commission to use not to exceed 6.1 million proceeds and not to exceed 9.1 issuance of GO bonds.
So moved.
Second?
This 28 agreement, Pete, did you see it?
I have not seen this agreement.
No. Yeah, the other attorney.
Huh?
There was another, I was gonna say there were attorneys that looked at it, I was gonna say.
From
I'm not
Spear-
sure.
Probably your bonding attorneys looked at it. yeah.
The Ehlers and Cooney.
All right. No need for me, man. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
You can look at it again.
It probably wouldn't hurt in the future to have Pete review it also, James.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Trelka,
Yes.
Little.
Yes. Okay, that's our agenda. Item 12, is any reports or information from the board at this time?
I just wanted to clarify, make sure that we did take a vote on section 2 of G.
Section 2G.
I thought we might have glossed over.
Closing the hearing.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we don't have to come back and do it.
You have a vote show on that, item 2 on G.
For closing the hearing, because there's no written objections, I have White and Leyland.
Did we hold a vote?
Yes. Actually, I'm not seeing that it was.
Was there a motion?
Motion.
Yes.
There was, yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Now does it show it?
Yes.
Okay, see, we took care of that.
Right.
Chris, did you have anything else?
No.
Dan?
I'll be tardy for next week's meeting because the Iowa State Police Association Conference is in Waterloo, and I'm speaking at it at 9 o'clock. But as soon as I finish, I will be here.
Very good. Linda, anything? Great.
I have something here.
Yeah,
We
James.
actually need to go back to the checks. Unfortunately, I had the wrong checklist. Must be something in the air, I don't know. But
Where are we going back to now?
for,
Claims and payment.
yeah, claims and payments, item 4. I had the manual checklist on accident here. So the real number actually is 134,623.03, and most of that actually comes from the ACES payments that we have an agreement with for 19,820, Pinecrest door access additional points, and then secondary roads for 22,600.
What did we vote on?
We voted on,
The manual
350.
checklist, the ones that they don't need approval for,
What was it, 22,000?
secondary roads.
Pete, how do you want to handle that then?
I think just have another vote on this will take care of it and use the specific figure, $134,623.03.
Okay, so Dana, make sure the record reflects that we went back to, is it item 4?
Yep.
A?
4A, yeah.
Okay, and do we have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Okay, let's have another roll call then.
Just 1 second here. So was Linda that motion? Okay. All right, Schwartz,
Yes.
Chalka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
Leyland.
yes.
Sorry.
And it really got you mixed
It
up.
did,
that way.
it did, I apologize.
Okay, if there's nothing else, then I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we are